Hello everybody and welcome to My Hero Academia chapter number 368 review. This chapter is titled Rev Up, One for All. Now, everybody, when it's come to talking about these My Hero Academia chapters, there are a few times when I open up a chapter and have to look to my left and look to my right when reading it. And this chapter may be the first My Hero chapter, which I have to open up to do that. And it's not really too good when I have to do that with a series. Except this is really funny. So, this chapter actually opens up with one of those, comic style spreads where it's got the Jump Comics, issue number, chapter title, and a barcode and everything, right? But the image here is an image of Hagakure. As we know, many chapters ago, we got the face reveal of what Invisible Girl Hagakure looks like, right? This time we get actual officially colored images of this, right? And how do we get this? We get Hagakure kneeling on the ground, wearing gloves and boots, and that's it. And you then have keep out tape going across the screen, covering up things we probably shouldn't be looking at. So, that is a color page, and that is what opens up this chapter. It's a very big tonal shift from what the chapter actually is about, because last time, if we don't remember, Deku had his whole moment of, I'm so upset, before Mirio had to calm him down and be like, alright Deku, fight Shigaraki as you should be doing, right? But it's this color page. I get, alright, it's an Hagakure showing of her official colors and all of that. Cool hair, right? Interesting character design. She's invisible. There you go, right? So, starting off the chapter proper, though, we get Deku sort of asking Shigaraki once again, is Shigaraki all for one, I should say. He's asking, is Shigaraki still in there? As we see Mirio's behind him, and he's just like, what is he going on about? As we see Shigaraki all for one's answer this question. He's like, really? That's your question? Tomura Shigaraki, you mean? No one by that name exists anymore. The two have achieved a perfect melding, but perhaps it's because All For One has been alive longer that he's the one who is in charge. I don't know what you're saying or what you're scheming, but you won't get in the way of our ideal pie in the sky ending here. As we see this image of sort of Shigaraki and All For One, or Tomura, right, or Tenko. I guess Tenko would be the best way to say it, right? Tenko's sort of there and Shigaraki's around him, and he's just putting, All For One's putting his face over Tomura's face and sort of covering up as we see more of this true defense form with all the hands going around Shigaraki, All For One. And we see Mirio's here, and he's like, hold on, I'm not so sure about all of that. When I made a rude accusation a while ago, it was like he was suddenly possessed by someone else. He suddenly started raging out, freaking out like a child. Nothing about that suggests that they have a truly perfect melding. It's as if the harder we fought back, the more unstable that he ended up getting. As we see that Deku sort of takes note of this, and if we don't remember what Mirio is talking about, it's whenever Mirio made the accusation that, hey, Shigaraki, you don't have friends. And that was sort of that. And we see that the vestiges are going around All For One. And we see Nana Shimura there, who is, of course, related to Tenko. It's his grandma, after all. And we see that she's around Shigaraki, and we see that Shigaraki has his hands in a way, right? And we see one of the hands is taking form of Shigaraki's father. I don't remember his name, but of course, this is also, not Hana. Hana's from Nizukoi. Nana's son, who of course is Shigaraki's father, and he sees that, and, well, she sees that, and she tells Deku, hey, he is still in there. He's still around. As we get a really cool panel layout So, this is a Japanese symbol. It's one of the katakana. I think it's... You know what? Screw it. We're going to figure out what this is real quick. I know all my hiragana. I don't know my katakana. So let's stall for time as I open up things on my computer I'm reading the chapter off of. Some of this may have to get cut out. Let's see. Katakana. Let's look at what katakana look like. This is To. But it's got the Dakugan, so it's technically Do, right? But it's this really cool panel layout. It's on page 7 of the chapter, where it's just cut out in that shape, which is just really cool, being that it's being used as not only a sound effect, but also the, bordering. As we cut around, we see Shigaraki take this absolute muscle form along with the defense form. He shakes the entire UA high in the sky. We see Hatsume and a bunch of the other support corps students, and they're just going, what's going on? As Shigaraki all for one says, enough idle chit-chat. I'll be taking back One for All now, as he completely smashes into the ground, destroying most of the floor here. As we see Deku's just like, know this, all for one. I won't let you have your ideal ending either. As Deku's starting to think, I have the 3rd Sfajin energy and the 5th Black Whip. And if I combine these, I can have a boosted binding combo. As he uses this attack called Blockchain, which is really interesting. It sort of looks like this chain sort of forms a fist on the end, and it sort of just goes and punches into Shigaraki. It's a very interesting visual. But as he uses this, all for one Shigaraki says, enhanced or not, the same trick won't work twice. As he doesn't even get this out before he notices Deku moving around really quick, and he can see the vestige, the second user of One for All behind him. And the second user says, once you're done once you use this. Take him down within 5 minutes, or else the world loses this war. As Deku's like, I am ready to settle this. As he says, I'm about to use the second's transmission. So, after this, we get a breakdown of what the second's quirk is. We see that Deku makes some hand motions, and that he all of a second, he just goes up and punches Shigaraki. And he punches him again as we see something that says second gear. He punches him again as it goes to 3rd gear, and he punches him again, it says top gear, as he completely just destroys Shigaraki. And while we see this, we see that every time he punches, there's a dun, 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 right? It's that do sound that we sort of saw on the page before, showing that Deku got into the 1st gear earlier. And we see that every time he punches him, the power sort of gets bigger. As we see Mirio, who's just like, how is he doing that? The sounds are so delayed. As Shigaraki's like, what is he doing to me? Where did he go? This is nothing like that glowing energy from before. He's far too fast, almost if. And he's thinking as he's like, meta ability that changes a target's speed when touched. Gear shift overdrive. As Deku sort of just comes in and performs a Detroit smash on all for one Shigaraki. As somebody says, as Izuku Midori would put it, this is 120 out of 100%, showing that he is going over his limits and using more of his full power. As we see Yoshi there, he's like, brother, let today be the day that we end this. As we sort of see Yoshi taking over the form of Deku in a way, and All for One taking over the form of Shigaraki. So this is a very interesting chapter. Of course, these are being recorded very late, and I think we are over 10 chapters behind at the point I am recording this. I obviously know what happens next with the whole idea of, hey, what transmission does. But this is a very interesting introduction to it. We can obviously tell that it's based off of a car's transmission, an old manual car. As we see that Deku goes into first, second, third, and the fourth gear is the top gear. I don't know if that's something in Japan, being that here in the States, normally fifth gear is your top gear on a standard manual transmission. And every time he goes into one of these gears, it's got one of those like dull sounds, right? Like that clanking of the transmission going to the next step. Very cool visual. The whole thing with, as Izuku Midori put it, this is 120 out of 100%. Is interesting. It's fine. And the Detroit Smash to end it off is really just leading into what next chapter will hold, as this chapter is really just being going to show, hey, look at this. It's a fight. And at the beginning, that cover page spread is probably one of the funniest cover page spreads I've seen in a while. I don't want it to stay on my computer screen for too long. But yeah, this was My Hero Academia chapter number 368. What was the title? Rev Up One for All. So he's revving up that engine with the transmission. Very good chapter overall. Not a whole lot I can say against it, but not a whole lot that I can say for it either. It's really just a build up till next time. And with that, I don't normally say this a lot, but please, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you think I sound pretty stupid trying to figure out what that katakana was, comment about it. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and all that good stuff. And without further ado, this is Glowplasma231 out.